Hello again, friends, and welcome back to your full-time show with me, Martin. I will be joined, of course, by the usual guests that you've seen throughout the day. What do we make about that then, guys? We fall to a 4-1 defeat to West Ham at home. Absolutely comical at times, absolutely stupid at times. I will welcome in Cruncher.
What do you want me to say about that? What do you want me to say? Can I use your phrase that you put on the group? It's like trying to make a carrot. It's like trying to make a carrot cake with Victoria's sponge ingredients.
Yeah, right. Let's have it straight, shall we? Playing out from the back. This ain't Football Manager, guys. Right? This is real life. Okay. We're trying to make a carrot cake with Victoria sponge ingredients, or vice versa. What? It's you can't do it. You just can't do it. I'll be the first one to say it, and I'll get Twitter going. Oh, there we go. You know, moaning. Look, all right. It's like trying to use a cruise liner to be a submarine. They're both boats, but one's going to sink and be absolutely useless at it. Richard, we played okay in the first half.
We did play all right in the first half. Second half was an absolute... It was a horror show at the back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Second goal, decent finish. You know, down there, left-hand side, good cross. Haller smashed it in. Could have probably got near him. Someone could have closed the ball down. The third goal and the fourth goal, yeah, spot on, 4-1. The third goal with a cross. I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing. You know, he sort of withdraws his hand, and El Mazzuni at the far post, he's just weak. That's weak defending. You know, he might be a real talented player, you know, going forward, but he's got the first goal and the third goal, he's got caught napping there. So if he's going to play that position, he's got to really improve. As for the fourth goal, if you haven't seen it, you've got to see it, because it beggars belief, doesn't it, really? Tip-tapping around. I see someone on social media saying it was a poor ball back from John Nolan. It's like saying Saturday's ball was a poor ball back from Luke Wolfenden, you know.
Excuse my French. Excuse my French there, sorry.
Luke Chambers, we were chatting after the half-time, weren't we, saying he's played 700 games, you know. He's a 34-year-old centre-back. He kicks it, he heads it. It isn't his game. He cannot pass a ball. You know, but it was woeful. You know, he was caught. Bang! It's in the goal. Look, you're playing West Ham. It's going to end in a goal. I don't care if you're playing the dog and duck on a Sunday morning down at the bloody park. The same thing's going to happen. It's going to end in the back of the net. And we're all for let's play football. Let's implement a style, but you have to have the personnel to carry it out. And at the minute, if you're expecting Luke Chambers, your goalkeeper, he's another one. He doesn't look comfortable with the ball at his feet. Toto, he's another one. Luke Wolfenden, yes, he can. James Wilson, another one. Exactly, James Wilson, not his game. You know, you're trying to put this style of play into effect. You haven't got the personnel to carry it out.
No, it's going to be a car crash, team, aren't you?
It's going to be a car crash. Exactly.
You're applying stress to your own team, and you're going to cost yourself in the long run. I admire the philosophy. I agree it's probably modern football now, but you know, Man City have got John Stones that cost 50 million quid. We're
in League One. We're a League One team. League One football with League One players. Keep it simple. Yeah. Simple football. Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. Don't play something that you can't do. We tried it when Lambert came in, and you can see when we had Bart in goal. It wasn't his game. He was uncomfortable when the ball went back to him.
No. Now, let's get some perspective. Okay, so it's a friendly. Yes. Okay, agree. It's West Ham, Premier League opposition. Yes, agree. Okay, but we are fundamentally, the same as Saturday, beating ourselves. And those things aren't anything to do with the opposition. They are your own self. We are beating ourselves. Okay, Saturday we had the issue with Cornell in the first 15. And then today we've had, again, a 15, 20-minute period where we've just gone absolute nuts and cost ourselves a nothing game, yes, but still, it's like I say, mental habits, and it's fundamentally beating yourself. Holy is right, because one of those goals, the guy's like 7 foot.
The third goal.
What on earth was that all about?
He was nowhere, was it? The cross came in. It sort of looked as though he sort of had it, and then he pulled his. I don't know if he pulled his. I'm not really sure. El Mazzouni's got to do better at the far post. He's got to be stronger there. But your goalkeeper comes and claims that ball. He comes and catches it, and away we go. We're off in the attack up the field. But look, I don't care if you play someone, they stick it in from 25 yards. But when you are making errors like that, we might get away with it in League One. I'll probably say we wouldn't get away with it in League One if we're about with a ball at the back there, because teams will know what we're doing, and they'll be pressing us, and we look nervous. We look really nervous.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We look really nervous because you're asking players to play away. They can't play. They can't
look uncomfortable.
Play. They look uncomfortable. They're doing too much of this and not just playing natural. When you play natural, you play faster, you play better. When you're doing that all of the time, and it's not your natural bag, you're going to get a less quick, responsive, and the goal. I mean, people are going to say Nolan's pass was not great, but I mean, where's the Mowbray type Rose turn around, have a go at you? You know, I don't want that ball there. There's no. I don't see how this team can progress forward playing the way it's playing from the back, because you haven't got the ingredients for that cake. It's like we said at the start of the show, like I said in the WhatsApp. I want to make an elaborate cake, but I've only got basic ingredients. Well, the next time I go shopping next summer, I'll buy some more elaborate ingredients. But currently, I've got to make the cake I've got the ingredients for, and that is not 2-touch, pass and move at the back.
But are they going to be brave? Are they going to stick to it? It's the way that Lambert wants them to play. Is he going to put it in the bin after 2 games? Is he going to say, right, we can't do this? He should know that already, though. He should know the tools that he's got at his disposal. He should know what they offer, what they can and can't do. Luke Chambers, he's not a ball-playing centre-half. In fact, I'll say it now, I might get a lot of stick. He is an absolute liability, and he should not be in our first 11. I'm sorry. He's not good enough anymore. He's not good enough anymore.
Let's try and have a bit of positivity. Who impressed you in overall in the game?
I thought the midfield 3 done well. I thought they'd done well. They played an hour. It was nice to see Freddie get a goal. I thought he looked quite lively. But the second half, it was just after them 3 goals. It was just bang, 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 and then it was like, oh my God, what is happening here? And then we made quite a few changes. Yes, it is. It's Stephen Skeet. It is time to move on with Chambers. But we were chatting after half time. He's the captain, Martin. What are we going to do with him? I think it is a massive problem, him being there. I really do.
So, guys, you can get involved with the show. You can leave your comments in the comment section. We love seeing those. Facebook is flowing. The chat room on YouTube and Twitter is flowing. But you can also appear on the show. If you ask for a link, you'll get one, and you can appear live on the show, just as this man here is now doing. Mr. Penning, what are your thoughts following that game?
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Hi, Luke.
Yeah, it's a strange one, really, because I kind of agree a lot with what you guys are saying. Whenever the team play around the back with teams that are established with it, you feel a bit confident in what they're doing. For me, every time that they were passing it back, Holy was passing it to Enciala was passing it to Chambers. There was always an air of, nervousness about, this could go wrong sort of thing. I think, as Rich said, when it comes to, I think, the 4th goal with the whole Chambers dallying on the ball, which, to be honest, is something that we had happen a lot last season. I struggled to think of a defence that could play that effectively. You've got someone like Wolfenden who is capable at doing that, but other than that, there's not really anyone within our centre-back partnership who can do it. Whenever Chambers gets the ball, he looks more comfortable knocking it long, which obviously isn't something that we're trying to do. Wilson is your typical no-nonsense centre-back who's going to, knock it long and kick it out of play. Other than that, Enciala, I thought he did all right today. It's a weird one, really. You don't know if last season wasn't necessarily in our pans. He's played quite a lot of, pre-season football, and Darba's come on, but I probably expect him to get a loan. He looks promising and that kind of thing. But I wouldn't really want to see him sitting out games because he really needs to be playing first team football. So for me personally, I still think we need another centre back.
Definitely, we needed the centre. We've said it before, haven't we, Luke? We've said it before.
Yeah.
You need someone in there, say 24, 25, someone who can progress, who's going to be at the club moving forward, hopefully getting out of this league and then can play in the Championship. Because Luke Chambers, he's been a good servant for us. I said to you, Martin, he was a better right back than he was centre back. At centre half, he gets caught all the time. You know, a lot of time he's ball watching. I think a couple of times there in the first half where we had the header. Another time Haller got behind him. We can't carry players. We have to be. You've got to be ruthless. Paul Lambert needs to be ruthless. Chambers, he must know himself that he's struggling.
Yeah,
he must know himself that he's coming towards the end, and this is a vital season. We can't go conceding goals like this when we're playing the real stuff. We just can't. It's just it's not acceptable.
You think of like you think of some positives. You got people like Hughes coming on. I thought he did really well when he came on. You know, driving the ball up.
Woeful hair though. Get rid of that top knot. What's it you go?
About? He's trying to make himself look like Will Keane. The whole assist for Sears' goal I thought was really good. El Mazzuni I thought was a bit of a shade. I feel like a lot of what we possess in our central midfielders, like, you know, decently technically gifted central midfielders, people like Bishop and Downs and Dazelle, but a lot of them I feel like need to bulk up a little bit more, like especially when it comes up to, like, you know, I think it was the first goal where you thought it might have gone out of play sort of thing. Dean Garner, I think, you know, someone like El Mazzini needs to be a bit stronger in that situation, in my opinion.
Totally. And the third goal, Luke, and the third goal with a header. I know the goalkeeper I thought should have got it, but he's got to be stronger there, you know, at the far post, just to ease him out. He got in front of him and it was an easy tap in for him.
What do we make of ITFC analytics comments here? He's not good enough anymore, yes, but the main problem is no one has stepped up to replace him.
What do they mean by stepped up?
Well, no one's made a claim. No one's saying, look, I need to be played.
I think he's good in what he's saying, really. He has got a point. Like, I read this the other day, and I think it was an article from the ADT saying, like, you know, a lot of people are putting Chambers in there starting 11s to start the season alongside Wolfenden. But for me personally, obviously, you know, you look on the outside, you got Enciala, who I think actually played pretty well against Spurs at points and today at points, but I think it's his concentration sometimes that lets him down. You know, as I said, Wilson hasn't played any games this season. He's been injured, which is, you know, something that worries me a bit at the moment. But I was writing some notes earlier, and one of the things that got me down was the whole the passes when it comes to cutting edge of the football. Really, you know, we got in good positions in the first half and in the second half, but it came down to points where, you know, Bishop would put a ball in, Drynan would be free, but then he'd run a little bit more further than he should have done. Same with Edwards. And I think that's something that we had last season a lot, was where players get into good positions but then try to overplay the situation.
Luke, I'm going to cut across you just there. Sorry, mate. I've got people waiting. I may come back to you, but Johnny, welcome to the show.
Hi, mate. How's it going?
Not too bad. Love the shirt. Absolutely love that shirt. What did you make of that today?
Worrying. Pretty much the same as a lot of what we had last year. I'm wondering whether he's thinking about using Dazelle instead of Skews in that position, because he looked reasonably good at spreading the ball about from the back.
Scoose's legs are gone. Scoose's legs are gone, mate. I think I'd be looking at Dazelle to play in there. I agree with that comment there from Lewis that Enciala. Look, I don't really think he's the answer, but I think he's done all right in the friendly games. And at the minute, I'd put him ahead of Chambers. Chambers would be nowhere near my first 11.
I said that in the chat. I said Chambers is making Enciala look like Van Dijk, but I just there's always a mistake in Chambers. I don't care what anyone says. There's always a mistake, and in the league, sometimes that mistake can cost you 3 points, and we need as many free points as possible. And Darber, my back four would be Kane Vincent-Young, Wolfie and Darber and Ward for the experience at the back.
See, I agree with you there with Ndaba, because people could say he's a young lad, he's not got the experience, but we need to put a little bit of faith in our youngsters. Don't send him out to a League Two team. It's League One football. We're not talking about Premier League football here. Get him in the team. Get him in the team.
And he can play with the ball at his feet. So,
but he's young as well, isn't he? He can grow in that position going forward. He needs a bit of faith shown in him from the manager.
I personally think we missed out on a season of Wolfie because we sent him out on loan. If we send Ndaba out, we're going to do the same thing. I think we should put him in now with Wolfie, have Wardy back there. I feel bad because I'm always caning Chambers and I get stick for it in the forums. But he's just gone. He's too old. He's too slow. He looked off pace today. He was always like getting turned. I'm sorry.
He should have gone a couple of years ago, shouldn't he? When we got relegated, was the time to say, look, thanks, Luke. You've been a really good servant to the club.
Yeah.
You know, it's time to move on. And now we're left with a situation with him there. And we haven't really, at the minute, we've got Wilson. We've got Ndaba.
How can you find a replacement if you're going to keep playing him?
I agree. You have to, sooner or later, you have to say, you have to move him aside. And he's a squad member. You might be... You might be club captain. Someone like club, you can be club captain.
I agree, mate. I 100% agree with you. It's not bashing the captain. Yeah, he's a perfect servant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't justify him getting in the first 11 when there's better players, younger players, faster players, just sitting in, going to other teams. It doesn't make any sense.
Johnny, what did you make of the Dozell, Bishop, and Downs, the midfield three today?
Bishop and Downs. Yeah, they always play. I think Bishop, for me, this is another big season for him. He's got to stay fit. He's got to stay fit. And if he does, I think it'll be awesome. I think he'll just be probably one of the first names on the sheet if he can stay fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke, I see in the chat there, JG, Vincent Young off to Bristol City, definite info. What do you two guys, whether that's true or not, what would you say to that if the club were to sell Vincent Young?
I think it comes a lot down to ambition, really. Like, I've saw this whole Norwood thing about him going to Swindon. I heard there was absolutely nothing in that. But as a club, with the salary cap, it does limit the players that we can get. If we lose Vincent Young, we lose that attack and threat on our fullbacks. Ward does it sometimes at points, but he's getting to that age where he isn't going to do it as much. If you lose Vincent Young, you don't get that from Donatian. I see a lot of people on Facebook forums, Twitter forums, ripping into Jonathan, to Donatian, but he's that defensive fullback. He's good in that position. If you don't have someone like him, you don't have that attack and threat up the flanks. You saw a lot today. Edwards playing on that right hand side, having to do a lot of work that he probably normally would do on the left with Ward. Yeah, I wouldn't think it would be good business, to be honest. We cried out for so many years for that, to sort out the right back spot. We had people like Jordan Spence, Edwards, probably the last person who could really, fill that role. So it seems a bit, petulant and stupid. So close to, you've got a rumoured friendly this Saturday. You've got Bristol Rovers in the cup, an under-23, leasing game against Arsenal, and then you kick off the season against Wigan. So there's 3 games left for players to play. I think there's nothing personally in them, having people like Dobra and Lancaster and Vincent Young and Jackson not involved today because apparently there's a friendly on Saturday. So that makes sense for them to play games. You've got someone here. But yeah, I wouldn't think that is a good move to do personally.
Okay.
Especially,
Johnny, I see people in this comment here on the screen, actually, Town Ipswich. If we play in Darber, Wolfie and KVY, would that leave us exposed at the back? What do you say about that? What's the balance, in your opinion, with that sort of back line, Johnny?
Well, they've got to have a little bit of discipline about them. We all know Wolfie likes to step out and go forward. And if he does that, and Darber just needs to sit back. With one thing that has really frustrated me about our team over the last couple of seasons and watching a lot of the games, we have no forward intent. It's all very well passing the ball along the back and keeping possession along the back four and back to the goalkeeper. You're not getting anywhere. We always made jokes about previous players like, Geraint Williams and David Norris, just call them the crab because they just pass sideways, and it's the same now. We need a pass, look up, look forward, go, and then. And when you get the ball, they need to eat the grass up. If there's space ahead of them, they need to run into it, and that's what Wolfie does for me. You need that, even back to the Kieran Dyer days. He used to come back, get the ball off the goalkeeper. The keeper didn't even have to kick it, and he would just turn and run. And we've lacked something like that. And Kane Vincent-Young, I think, gives us that. You know, I think getting rid of him would be a massive step backwards. Massive step backwards.
Yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. Yeah, so I'm laughing at the comment on the screen. Martin Lambert for the town job.
I'm trying to keep my eye on them as well because
it goes fast here, Johnny. It goes fast, but we appreciate you coming by. And guys, it's as easy as that to get involved in the show. Johnny wanted to make a point. He asked for the link on Facebook. He got the link. He came on. Same as Luke. You're more than welcome to chill in the.
Johnny was good, wasn't he?
Johnny was brilliant. Yeah, love the shirt.
You muted me, didn't you, to keep me quiet?
Yeah. I wanted to hear his opinion, not yours. But guys,
I agree with the comment there about Ndaba, because if you're playing Chambers and Wolfenden, you've got no real left-sided centre back, have you? No. You need to have balance. I'd go out and sign another defender. If you're not, Ndaba, is he really at the minute going to come in and play in the first team? He's played no real first team football. Went to Chelmsford. Hemel Hempstead, was it on loan as well?
Testing my
knowledge, I think he went there. He hardly played. So to ask him to come into the first team and play, I think it's a big ask. But I wouldn't be against him playing. But I still think you need to go and find a left-sided centre-back who's a good age, because Wolfenden, if he has a good season, he's going to be off as well. You know, him and Flynn Downs, him and Flynn are the crown jewels. We see Flynn today. Flynn's like a Rolls Royce. You know, he's our best midfielder. He's our best player by an absolute country mile. And David Moyes being there at that game, he would have seen that. And he must be thinking, he's a good player, you know. Yeah.
Oliver Crow, it's obvious we can't pass from the back, but you can't make a good pass without a decent out ball there. I actually kind of agree with what Oliver's trying to say there. When you play from the back, you need your midfield to be constantly showing and busy for the ball. I'm not quite sure I see that from any midfielder at Ipswich Town at the moment. Do you, Rich?
I like when Andre drops deep and gets on the ball. And I thought that midfield three today, they showed real promise. And it was interesting that they played for an hour, just under an hour, and then he took them off, and then he made the three changes. But I thought they done really well. But I think we might have to get used to it, Martin. This is the way we're going to try and play. We're going to have a few bumps in the road, but I still think if you're going to try and play that, you have to have the personnel. Time for the youth to be. Yeah, I do agree there.
Marcus Evans was at the game today, so obviously with the salary cap, things are a lot more difficult. But he's got to look at that squad and see a lack of real quality, right? Very similar, isn't it? If you look at the subs that came on across the midfield, I know we touched on it the other day. We've got no real game changers, have we? We think he can come on. He's really going to change the game. Look, I'll say it again. I thought Freddie had a good game. I thought Drinan was absolutely anonymous. And I know when we start, he's not going to be playing against quality centre-halves and quality players like that. But there was another ball, I think, in the second half. I think it was Sears put it in from the left. And he's on his heels in that 6-yard box. He's got to get across the centre-half. You know, get in front of him and get yourself a goal. And I think he's just sort of waiting a little bit. This system... Yeah, we do. We need another left-sided centre-back. We do, definitely. If that's what you're going to play. Jump to Facebook very quickly. Read out some comments from Facebook. A popular one from Facebook seems to be, if Chambers was to be dropped or not played, who would step up and fill the leadership void? I think, personally, I know he might not be the club that... Flynn Downs would be my captain. I know he'd probably give it to Stephen Ward. I would expect... he'd be the senior player who'd get the armband. But I think going forward, if Flynn was there, he would definitely be my captain. We need more leaders, don't we? We haven't got no leaders. Is Chambers a leader, though? Do you see him on the pitch there, pointing and shouting at people, telling them where to go? Mark Tuxford, I've always been a huge fan of Chambers' excuse for their passion, but the last year or so, their ability to come into question. Neither can be our first choice at the moment. What would you say to that, Rich? Definitely. We've touched on it before. I wouldn't have kept Scouse. I wouldn't have kept him. Maybe if he wants to do coaching, keep him around the club. Yeah, agree with you there, Rob Pryke, Flynn Downs captain. I'd have kept Scouse around the club, have him registered as a player. He wouldn't be playing. And Luke Chambers, he wouldn't be in my team neither. Both of them, they can't be in the starting 11 at any point together this season. He might play one, but he can't play both. Yeah, Ryan Clark says, thinks we should stick with what we're trying to do. Don't write it off early. The first half played some nice stuff. The second, it all went a bit.
I don't think we're writing it off, Martin. We're just saying you're trying to implement a style, but you've not got the tools to do it. You know, no. How do you change someone who's all of his career he's been a centre half, he's a stopper.
Yeah.
How does he suddenly become? He's getting the ball short. He's playing it into midfield. He's knocking it back. When it's not his game. It's not his game.
You've got Adam who says very, very rightly, in my opinion, we can all see the passing at the back with Division 1 players ain't going to work. Now let's see if Lambert can see that. I think that's the issue, isn't it? We're trying to play a Man City style of play with a third-tier squad.
I think this is football in general, isn't it? That everyone, you've seen teams in the Premier League. I think I was watching Brighton-Liverpool game in lockdown, and I think Brighton were trying to play out from the back. They were 2-0 down within 7 minutes because, look, they're a higher level than we are. But even that, they were struggling. I know you're playing a top team in Liverpool, but it's League One football. It's keep it simple. You know, let's not overthink things here. Let's keep it simple. Play to our strengths. But then, do you know what our strengths are?
Well, I'll ask Johnny. Johnny, what do you think our strengths are, my man?
I'm going to think very carefully before I say this. I think we have great numbers in midfield. That's one of our strengths.
Are they good numbers?
Yeah, I do think we have enough people in midfield. We have the quality there. What we don't have is the quality up front to play one up front, which he's going to do, which gets on my knackers, I tell you, because no wonder Brennan looked isolated. Jackson looks isolated. You know, anyone we played up front their own last season, they look isolated because the midfield don't get forward quick enough to support them.
We did talk about that at half time, didn't we? If you're playing a 3, it's important that your 2 wide players, they've got to get close to the striker because all too often it'll become a 4-5-1.
Yeah.
You've got your striker isolated up there. But I agree with you, Martin. If you had someone, look, he's too old now. Daryl Murphy is your perfect striker to play in that role. Asking a kid who's 22, playing against international footballers in these last 2 games, he's not your man. But I tend to disagree with you there with the midfield. We've got a lot of midfielders, but they all do the same thing.
Okay, Johnny, where do you? Obviously, we're closing on the start of the season. Where do you want to see the club go from here? Do you want to see a couple of new faces? If so, where? Do you think the squad's good enough? What's your thoughts?
I'd like to see some more up front. I'd like to see a better centre back with some experience. It's not going to happen. He's not going to sign anyone. We've got more chance of players going out, which worries me because, we've heard Lambert say, we've got to trim the squad. I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. We've got a long season. You look at some of the fixtures that are coming up. How long is it going to be before we have some of our famous injuries pop up? And then all of a sudden, we're short on numbers.
Yeah.
We're not short on numbers. We're nowhere near short on numbers. I disagree with you there. The other day, we had 23 players against Spurs, and we had another 5 who weren't even involved. That's 28 players.
I agree.
I'd lose a couple of midfielders to get another striker in.
I agree with Johnny.
And a centre back.
Positions. I'm talking about centre half strikers. Where's Simpson? I haven't heard his name mentioned. Is he injured?
Played for the 23s. Played for the 23s against Bury on Saturday. He's another one way off the pace. Way off the pace.
He needs a loan. He needs a loan. But I think
definitely.
And Darber out. I think McGavin will go out on loan, which is a shame. I think the guy is.
I like McGavin.
It's probably a long-term replacement for Skews.
Definitely.
But he'll go out on loan, and it just really does. We seem to be pulling in these old war horses. We'll get another season at Chambers. We'll get another season at Skews. No, we're not moving. We're not moving forward.
Okay, Johnny. Thank you, Luke. Obviously, Johnny says numbers. Rich disagrees. I'm going to mute Rich for you, Luke. Don't worry. What do you think, Luke? What do you think numbers-wise? I think before you answer, yes, we've got numbers, but they are either the mix of really raw prospects or players that are maybe ending, towards the end of their career. There's no real bang prime quality in this squad. What do you think?
I think like in our starting positions, starting right back, you got Vincent Young, Wolfenden, and then obviously we talked about the other centre back. Left back, Ward, obviously, but I feel like a lot of the team, we've got good first options. It's just the backups. Centre midfield we're all right, because if you want to play a midfield free-in player, more advanced midfielder, you've got Bishop and Judge as, the two that you can interchange. Centre midfield wise, you got Downs, Dazelle, and then alongside that, Nolan and Hughes. But I still feel like we've got a lot of centre midfielders. I still feel like one needs to go out. For me personally, it would be Nolan. Maybe El Mizouni. I don't want El Mizouni to go out on loan. I think he's a very good impact player, but I'd be interested to. Well, it probably hamper his development by the fact that he's on the bench, not playing many games. But still, I think many games last season there were points in the games where we needed to be a bit more, exciting on the ball. I think Dobra is a very exciting player. I think he played really well at Spurs the other day. Obviously, Lancaster probably still need to see a little bit more from him, but has impressed me a lot, obviously, from his injury. Left wing side, you've got Edwards. Sears, obviously, I've been quite impressed with Sears. Striker-wise, talk about Drynan. I think he played a points well today. I think he lacked a little bit from some of the midfield trying to support him. There were probably a couple of chances he probably could have done better in the first couple of minutes. I was pretty surprised, to be honest, to see him actually play at the full 90. I thought when Falami came on, he would replace him. Obviously, with Norwood, there's something that we really need to sort out. I'm sick and tired of going on my Twitter feed and saying, "Oh, he's going to Swindon, he's going to Dundee." He's clearly happy here. I think a lot of people are joining up dots that aren't true with him, to be honest. He's a good player who's fit and firing, who can do well. Snowy ITFC 96 says, "We have numbers but lack of strength and depth. Still have some deadwood." Yeah, most certainly. It's a lot of what I'm talking about. We have a very big squad. Obviously we talk about having a new centre back potentially come in, that kind of thing. And I in that position, you need to learn out players. People like Brett McGavin, I probably expect to go on loan. Jacob Farrow, I would expect another striker. And however, no point if we all keep getting as lower league players. We need one key striker who's quality and who will play every week. We need that one player who shines. Personally,
but the thing is, look, we're a League One team. What do we expect we're going to get? We're only going to get lower league players. But we have got a lot of dead wood, Martin. Like we said, more dead wood than Thetford Forest, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, you're licking all my lines today. You're licking all my lines. That's fine. Luke, thank you. Rich, do we lack pace in the squad?
Yeah, massively. You got no Jackson. Drinnan, he's not quick, is he? Edwards fairly. I thought Edwards done all right today. But, yeah, we've got no one really. We've got so many similar players, haven't we? But it is true now. We're a week and a half before the first game. We're going to have to pull our finger out.
We are. Yeah, Hawks thinks Drinnan was poor. Too many loose balls. Too many wasted passes. I think so. Yeah. He's one of those players where on a bit of paper he's a number, the same as El Mizani, the same as I would even go as far as say so is Dozell at this point. I've not seen enough from him. But are they really going to contribute what you need? Probably not. They're probably still young and not quite ready enough. The squad is a developing squad or a squad that's done it already at previous seasons or clubs. We are a club that needs to be doing it right now.
Yeah,
we're in right now mode. Our squad is almost in maybe in 2 years' time. But we can't wait. These players have got to go out on loan, and we've got to get players in who are right now. Even if it's short-term fixes like Stephen Ward, it's got to be a right now urgency.
But you've said before, this season, I know people are not going to want to hear it, it could be a transition season for us.
Oh, it is. It's huge. Yeah, of course it is. You've got all those players that have got one more year left in their contract. It's a transition. The players that are coming up will be a year further on next year, whether it's a loan spell or not. And those players that have got a year left who are perhaps ending, towards the end of their career, may not be here at all. And you'll have this cap space available to go and spend on what you need, the right ingredients to play out from the back. Whether Lambert's here or not remains to be seen. There may be a friendly on Saturday. Do you agree with saving players for that friendly? Like Jackson, for example. Would you have rather seen Jackson today against West Ham or Jackson on Saturday against the team it's rumoured to be, which is Cambridge?
We don't know. He might have had a knock.
We live in the world of we don't know, so we live in the world of that he's fully fit.
If he's fully fit, he would have got 45 minutes, wouldn't he? Surely it makes more sense for him to get 45 minutes. I can understand with Jack Lancaster. He's had 2 bad injuries, so we've got to be careful with him. Vincent Young, you've got to be careful with him. But when you're talking about Caden Jackson, is he going to be here at the start of the season? We don't know. We don't know. There's a lot of we don't knows. James Norwood, when's he going to be fit? Ollie Hawkins, when's he going to be fit? You need to hit the ground running with these people. We don't want a slow start with the games we've got. The first 5 or 6 games, we've said I think it's been very kind to Paul Lambert, but we still have to get them results on the field. They're not gimme games. We have to go out there and earn the right to get them 3 points. We can look at them and say, yeah, they're pretty easy games. We should have a good haul of points. But without your first choice strikers, where's the goals coming from in that team?
And that's the issue, isn't it? Goals win you games. I'm starting to get, I'm getting bad vibes. About this time of year in pre-season friendly, you get the vibe of where you're going to be and what's going to happen. And I'm starting to get bad vibes. I'm starting to get the Paul Hurst vibes coming through. We're lacking quality in the most important areas of the squad, which is scoring goals. You can play pretty stuff in triangles all you like. If you don't score a goal, you don't win the game.
Yeah, let's just calm down a little bit. We have played Spurs and we have played West Ham. We're not going to play anywhere near that level.
You've got to threaten teams. 4 shots in target in 2 games. That's not threatening.
Yeah, but today we've got 3 strikers who you'd say would be either in your first 11 or on the bench who are not available. So you are sort of down to the bare bones a little bit, and you rely in today on a 22-year-old kid, making his way in the game still.
Yeah. Drizzy, pumped up by Mark Heath.
And he showed a few nice touches, but there was a couple of times there we said before he's got to be in that 6-yard box sniffing out that goal. Experienced striker would know where to be, and the ball would have ended in the net. And I'm not writing them off just yet. I think it's pre-season. Today, first half was a lot better, obviously, than the second half because the second half was a bit of a calamity. But it's interesting to see what Paul Lambert has to say, because he'll probably come out and say, like he defended Cornell on Saturday, playing out from the back, that's the way I want them to play. If you want them to play that way, we're going to let goals in. There's going to be mistakes.
We certainly are. Yeah. Well,
accident waiting to happen, isn't it?
Okay, so close this out. 2 minutes. Close this out. 1 minute. What do you think is going to happen moving forward? What do you want to see in the next 10 days? I've asked Johnny, I've asked Luke. What do you want to see in the next 10 days?
I'd like to see him sign a left-sided centre-back. I don't think we're going to. I really don't think, unless he did say the other day, there'll probably be people going out before anyone comes in, because the squad is massively overinflated. We've got a lot of similar players. I didn't agree with Luke about sending John Nolan out on loan, because why would you give him a new contract and then loan him out 2 or 3 months later?
So that's a fair point, yeah.
But the window does go to October this year, but I want new faces in before the season starts. But I think defensively, that's going to be the issue this season. I really think central defenders.
No, Chuck. No, you're looking at the wrong end of the pitch, mate. Joe Rule proved it. No, Joe Rule proved that. You can win 4-3. You've got to score goals. Those win you games. Not 0-0s. That's a point. 46 points is not going to cut a promotion campaign.
But you need solid foundations to build from. At the minute,
you have got that if you play the right mixture, if you play the right way, if you ask players to play their game, not try and make them look like John Stones.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got that.
So why are we trying that? Why are we trying to implement this style?
Well, this is it. This is pre-season, and this is what it's all about: implementing a style of play. Now, it comes to a point as a manager, and we've both coached, Rich, where you maybe want to do a certain thing, and then the players do not perform or show you they can do it. And you've got to suddenly sit down and go, okay, we wanted to do this, but can we do this? And if
you play to the player's strengths,
not quite showing it, is it?
No, you play to the player's strengths that you've got, and you should know by now. We'll go back to him. You should know now what Luke Chambers' strengths and weaknesses are. Asking him to play football is not
just Luke Chambers. Does not make him the scapegoat. There are other players in that back line.
He should know better. He should know better now. He's a 34-year-old. You know, he's been at the club for
I'm
8 or 9 seasons. It's quite young.
Still quite young, mate. Don't make it too old. Whatever you do.
In football terms, you know. I'm knocking on a bit. I'm older than you.
We're all knocking on a bit. And I think we'll call it there. We've had some lively debate today, Rich. We've had lots of people watching, lots of people getting involved. We had Johnny, we had Luke. We had a couple people asked for a link on Facebook, but sadly didn't join us. Hopefully they'll join us next time. If this is pre-season, I'm looking forward to the season because win, lose or draw, we're going to be here to keep nailing our colours to the mast and making the club listen, if you like.
But we want to be winning. We want this season. It's a massive season. We've got to hit the ground running. Look, let's be positive. We've played Spurs. We played West Ham. We ain't playing anyone like them this season. With the squad we've got, we should be more than capable. I've said it before. I say it again. Challenging at the top end of this table. We really should, and we have to. We, like you say, we are the biggest fish in this league. We
are. But last year we had too many games where you kind of got the feeling if a team had got 2 goals against us, it was lights out because we were a 1-goal only team. I don't think we're any different from that team. I think we're still only got a goal in us a game. And that ain't going to win you games.
I don't disagree with you. Perfect. Honestly, I don't. I've said before, there's you were always right, aren't you?
I wouldn't go that far. I won't go that far. But yeah, there we go. Guys, have your say. If you're watching it back, have your say in the comment section after today's show. Go to Twitter. Richard, what is your Twitter handle?
At the Cruncher76. Come on, jump on board. I've always got a comment, good or bad.
Yeah, he has. Thank you, Richard. Thank you all to Johnny, to Luke, and to all of you guys. Thank you for watching. Catch us. If there's a game Saturday, you can catch us Saturday. If not, Sunday live, 1:30, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Catch you all then with love, with care. Adios, my friends. It can only get better.